So I just wrapped up finishing recording the session 0 for Deth Wizards, and it was a lot of fun. It was great. I was going over the recordings that I made. To jazz up the video, I bought some of these off eBay, these tiny little cameras. Thought it'd be a good investment just to jazz it up a bit. You can see my face, I could point at different things on the table. But let this be a warning against recording a whole scenario, a whole video, without testing the content first, because the quality was not fantastic, I would say. I was not at all impressed with the output of these cameras. I'm still going to use the footage because I really enjoyed what I created in this video. I think what came out of it's going to be really cool going forward. But yeah, I'll have to come up with a different system going forward because these are pretty garbage. But then I paid garbage amounts for them, so I got what I paid for. It's fine. I got 2 of them. One's recording here and one's in my hand. I'll just give them to my kids. They'll probably have a blast with them. Alright. Cool. On with the video. Sorry about the quality. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. First game. Now that you get to finally see my horrid visage, we're going to be playing Deth Wizards. I hope that hasn't screwed up the camera, making it shade out, but we'll see. Deth Wizards is by Snarling Badger Studios. They're cool. I like a lot of their games. In this game, you take on the role of evil necromancer. I assume he's trying to become a lich or something, but he's gaining power through necromantic minions, and you go through a series of campaigns and skirmishes. It seems like good fun. I haven't actually played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. So as you followed along with some of the previous videos, you know we've been building up a world slowly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly generate the Deth Wizard the way I randomly roll things, because I like that. And then I'll give him a little bit of extra character and place him in that world, and we'll generate a story that way. Yeah. So, enough faffing about. Let's get on to it. Alright. Step 1. Creating your necromancer. 1. Assign your necromancer stats. There's 3 stat blocks here. So I've got 1, 2, 3 stat blocks. There seem to be like a middling person, a very combat-oriented necromancer, or a necromancer that likes to cast a lot of spells. But D3, if we can find a D6 somewhere, here we go. D3. I've got 4, so 2, 1, 2. Ooh, the fighty type. Offensive 6, defensive 7, resist 4, and necromantic energy 9. Maybe it's a bit of a glass cannon. Number 2, necromantic legacy. There's a bunch of different types of necromancers you can be. You can be a horde master. Well, I'll move the camera back. I need to get better at doing this. In fact, you give me a sec. Flip it this way. There we go. Now I can use my right hand to right and roll, and the camera's not in the way. Good. We're learning. We're learning here. We're learning how to do things. That's great. So you're the Dread Horde Master, who can summon up a pile of lesser minions. You're the War Reaper, who's more of a combat-focused one. They like to deal. They get bonuses from having things die nearby them. You're the Controller, which is sort of like a puppet master. You can steal your enemies' undead creatures. Kind of feels a bit more like multiplayer-y as opposed to solo player-y. But you can probably find a way to just mod it so that it affects living characters as well. You can find a way. The Monster Master. He's the guy that specializes in big boys. You got the Spirit Caller, who deals in all the ghosties, and the Stitcher. So I got 6 options here. So D6. So that's a 5. So the legacy is a Spirit Caller. That's interesting. Spirit Caller. We haven't done a lot of ghosty stuff. Oh, we have done a bit of ghosty stuff. Maybe this will be that hippie dwarf way down south that we generated in the map making. Can only recruit spirits, but I can increase the move of all the spirits by 1. So you can choose up to 7 ratings worth of undead from necromantic minions that follow. As I proceed through the game, you'll have the opportunity to create a horde, raise more undead. Such. Alright. So that's all very interesting. But I am randoming this sucker. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this channel, is that I'm sitting here and randoming stuff. So, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. Should I do it? Yes, I'll do 5. If I roll a 6, it'll be my choice. I've only got 7 for suspense. This won't take very long, actually. 2! So what have we got? Spectre. Another Spectre. 3, 2. Okay, so I got 3 Spectres. What could possibly go wrong? Spectres, let's have a look. So these are the range guys. They're going to move pretty quick because I give them +1 to movement. And they're ranged. Oh, this could work out. Because I got that combat-oriented Necromancer. So these guys could be flinging damage while the Necromancer's running in and trying to bash stuff up. Okay, that could work out. Necromantic powers. Alright. Once you create your Necromancer, the next step is to choose your, basically, spells. The Legacy will grant you 1 power. You'll also have knowledge of 3 universal powers. Additionally, you may select 3 more Necromantic powers from the list provided. Okay. Okay, so I get Dark Shield, Negative Bolt, Restore Energy as default, and then 3 random ones from here. I didn't print out the spell document. Oh well, screw it. Let's write on the back. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... So 24. That's an interesting one to roll. D3. 1s is 10s, 2s is 20s, and 3s is 0s. And then on top of that, I'll roll a D10 for the single digits. 10 plus 5 is 15, so 12, 1 to 3, Night Shield. Go again. 23, True Death. Okay, Night Shield, True Death. And 0, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cloak in Shadow. Okay. The Necromancer calls forth darkness to hide his minions from sight. Okay. I kind of like that. Like, I'm currently creating this dark mist and my spectres are flinging bolts out from it. I wonder if hidden disappears if they attack. Be interesting to see. Night Shield. Undead within range of this power, I cloaked in Fell Shadow. Okay. And True Death. 1 enemy undead. Oh, okay, so I've read the campaign rules and they're all against humans, so unless I randomly get like a skirmish game against an undead foe, this one's probably not going to be much use. But I'm getting some interesting vibes from this character because he's got a bunch of shadowy effects. Like we're popping out of, we're almost like a something like, I don't know, the movie The Fog comes to mind. Interesting ideas. So starting there, the layer determines how many minions you're allowed to keep at any one time, basically the size of your home. And you can add things like labs and stuff as the game progresses. So cave, hovel, sewers. This one's easy. D3. 6 sewers. We're living in the sewers. Come on, man. Out of my face. I refuse to re-record all of this for the sake of my hair. You guys are just going to have to accept that I changed my hairstyle halfway through. That deserves a coffee break. Cool. So these are rules. So we can have 25 undead. Special ability, easy access. During your first 2 story play missions, you may activate up to 4 rating worth of undead minions twice. No one knows we're there. We sneak up. Oh, actually, that's kind of vibing with the whole shadowy thing. No one knows we're a threat until we're there destroying things. Oh goodness, I think that's it. That's all sorted for now. I've got an idea of my character. I've got my minions, and I've got my spells. So my Deth Wizard is ready to play. I just gotta flesh out some of the fancy details for him. Yeah, may as well do that right now. So, same deal as we've done in the past. I'm just gonna roll a few dice. Whichever dice is the largest on whatever location is the one I'm going to choose. Just so that the reason I don't use 1 dice is because the way I roll my hand is going to dictate the direction in which it goes in. So here we go. Nope. So this was the Jackal dice I got from One Page Rules. It's a 6. Yeah, it's a 6. So yeah. Oh. So it lands on this square. Alright, that's interesting. So this is one of the... At the end of I think it was at the end of the last video when I was recording made the Axolotl Kingdom. This was one of the kingdoms that I generated after the fact, using the completely random rolling system, the same as the Axolotls. I'll show an image on screen of how that turned out, but effectively it's another broken dwarven city, but just as the Lich sent a dragon to go break up the previous dwarven city, this one also has a dragon perched on top of it. that's fine. That's what we rolled. So that's what we're going to do. This is where we're going to be locating it. But before we even get to that stage, what I'm going to do is Une this sucker. Same deal as before, so I'm going to give him a background, and I'm going to give him several motivations. The reason I'm doing that for this character, even though Deth Wizards is kind of episodic, I'm planning to use the Mythic GM generator and have a little bit of narrative between the missions, just to see how this character goes. I'm not just playing Deth Wizards, I'm creating a story for this character. Alright, so D100. 73, he was a revolting... and that tracks. A revolting scientist. Okay. Oh, I should work out. I mean, I think he's a dwarf, but we're randoming the sucker, and it was a dwarven city with a gold mines, silver mines, iron mines, so there might be some humans. I don't think there'll be elves. So I guess 1 to 4, he's a dwarf. 4, yeah, he's a dwarf. Cool. So a dwarf Deth Wizard. Ooh, actually, I'm pretty sure I've got a model for this guy. Yeah, here we go. This is him. From that lighting is terrible. From Reaper Minis. I've been actually waiting for an excuse to play with this guy, so I don't know which camera is going to be better to show this off. But yeah, that's you. You're the Necromancer. Congratulations on your promotion from random miniature that never sees the light of day. You're a revolting scientist. You power levels irrelevant for this. Motivations. So I want 3 motivations. 18, 81. Pursue advice. Right. Pursue advice. 22. Abuse. Abuse 17. Abuse beauty. Okay. Got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. 98. Establish. Establish happiness. Establish happiness. Okay. Oh, I feel so sad for this guy. I feel like he's just been I feel like this guy's just a reject, because he's so revolting. He just couldn't find love, and everyone rejected him, and now he's angry at the world. My heart goes out for you. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, what's your bearing? What's this matter? I'm gonna be playing him. Nah, screw it, whatever. 22, what is this? 25, 92. Friendly? Celebration! That makes sense. But he's a chipper dwarf. He's happy. He's happy as he goes around turning people into zombies. Oh, ghosts. He's a ghost person. He's a very chipper dwarf. I just have to turn you into ghosts. You'll love it as ghosts. Ghosts are awesome. You'll never have to die again. In 86, his family is his focus. So that's him. That is the dwarf. That is going to be my dwarf. A charming misfit who just wants to have a family. I need a random dwarf name for you, somehow. 1. Yeah, Grundin Stoneforge. That's your name, Grundin. Which actually makes sense given the fact that you got a hammer as your weapon. It is very dwarfy, but yeah, that's from the Forge. It's from the Forge. It all makes sense. It all falls into place. As it often does when you're doing this random stuff. Alright. So I think that's it. Other than drawing out the map. I'll get back to you when I've done that. One thing about the map is I'm not going to draw out the whole thing because we're now entering play mode. So instead of just randomly determining everything, the way Grundin travels around the place is going to determine what we find. So we appear at a village. What kind of village is it? I don't know. Maybe it's got a river, maybe it's got a mountain, maybe it's got a forest. Maybe it's got dragon bones. That would be cool. We'll find out. Alright. Cool. So, now we've got our reduced scale map. With all this big open space ready for us to go out and explore. We're going to... What have we got left to do? We're just going to flesh out the towns a little bit first, using Perilous Wilds again. I use a lot of tools when I'm playing these games, but the best tools I found are definitely Perilous Wilds, Une, Mythic, and then you can just wrap those up in any game you're playing, and it usually fits as long as it's fantasy. Once you get to sci-fi, you gotta use different. Might have to use slightly different tables. Might have to instead. Might have to use slightly different tables. Alright, so to use this one, roll a d12. To start with, the region name is going to be 6. So terrain of the noun. So do this twice. 21. The flats of the doom. The flats of doom. Well, it's certainly apt. Maybe that's what they're calling it now. This isn't what it used to be, but this area is now called the Flats of Doom since the dragon. The Flats of Doom. That's the name of the region. The name of the place. Okay. I feel like a place isn't actually like a city. It's an area, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's do this. 45. 38. The Gloomy Ghost. The Gloomy Ghost. That feels like a dream. Yeah, I wonder. Gloomy Ghost. This fella here is a necromancer that specializes in spirits. Might go. Maybe this place, like this area. Maybe he's not an outcast because he's a necromancer. Maybe he's an outcast because it's disgusting. But the whole region actually specializes in necromancy. Like, given the history of this whole region, that would kind of make sense. Overthinking, perhaps. It was Lingo Jam, but it was Dwarf Fortress, which, honestly, I'm pretty chuffed to get to bring Dwarf Fortress into this. I love that game. V12, go. Anyway, Gloom is not a thing, but Gloom is, and Ghost. Gloom Ghost. Gloom Ghost. Wumsha Ngatol. Yeah, back with that. So, the name of the city, the capital is Ingatol. And the nearby human city that was generated. Yeah, we'll just go back to Perilous Wilds and then do something funny with it, I guess. Let's see. 3. Adjective place. 42. 42, 31. Adjective place. 42. Frozen. 31. Frozen finger. Frozen fingers. Frozen fingers actually. There's all Smokeout Mountains here, so maybe the humans moved up here and they're like, man, this place is freaking cold. Let's call it Frozen Fingers. That's cool. So yeah, the township of Frozen Fingers. So you got a human city, got a dwarf city, and just to flesh it out a little bit more, so I've got an idea. The reason I'm doing all this fleshing out, by the way, before I'm playing the game, is just to... Because I want this not just to be a straight up Deth Wizards game, but I want to try and figure out what this character is doing. It's giving me information as he's traveling around, and possibly giving me more destinations of what he's going to find, which gives me more prompts down the line. If all you want to do is play Deth Wizards, this is way over the top, but if you're insane like me, then it's good fun. Here we go, so steadings. We're going straight down to city on the steadings, D12, 5. So it's ruled by a single individual. Stick these on the side. So, Wumsha Ingatol, notes for this. This occurs to me. This guy's meant to be all like happy and chipper, and he's the weirdo in a place called Gloomy Ghost. Maybe he's weird because he's happy. Maybe happiness isn't welcome in this dwarven city. This is a sad city. But for now, this is fine. So it's got single individual, so it's single ruler. Possibly in the past. I don't know, maybe they're dead. Dragon came in. Single ruler. I need to come up with a persona for him at some point. And his problem, aside from being burnt up by a dragon, before that was it's outgrown its resources. So it has a huge population, moderate, let's call it large population. Yeah, which might be why they're willing to let humans live in their lands, because the humans are doing their food production or something in a bit. So that's Wumsha. Stick it on the side. Way over here. Yeah, there we go. Wumsha. Yeah, just finished doing the video and realized I hadn't actually made a persona for that king that I said I was going to make. Reason why I like to do it ahead of time. You don't have to do it now. You could do it later. when you encounter the character. But the reason I like to do it ahead of time is, you know, if he's a vindictive character, if he's deceptive and sneaky, maybe he's going to try and do something about this itinerant priest trying to convert people. Actually, you might not have heard that in that video yet. That comes up later. Never mind. We're really trying to hunt down this guy ahead of time. He might be dead, and his son taking over. Well, who knows? Or he might be a nice guy and decides actually he wants to help out the necromancer. But knowing that ahead of time lets me as the player shape the adventure to match the personality. Again, don't have to do it. I find it's just handy. Who is the leader of this place? I mean, obviously he's a royal now, but was he always a royal? Perhaps he wasn't a royal. Let's find out with the proper dice. 17. He's a foolish 27. Foolish chieftain. Makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, he was king. He was in charge. But he's not a clever fellow. What is he? I wonder. Comparable to the hero character. What is he? 99. Whoa, he's way stronger than the necromancer is, though. Maybe he's a big boy, big muscly fellow. Not much up in the head, but he's got a big arm with a big axe. Big hammer. The king's motivations are 30. Advance. Ghosts. Advanced ghosts. Yep. Which definitely boosts the... These dwarves are crazy ghost-mongering dwarves that like to raise the dead or whatever. 90. Discourage. 54. Discourage disbelief. He will not brook these filthy frozen finger monastery folk. 27. And 1. Review wealth. Yeah, and he's greedy, which he's greedy, which tracks with pride and greed. Ugh. Dwarves delve too greedy, too deep. NPC bearing. 1. Scheming. Negotiation. Maybe he schemes and he's good at negotiating and he's pretty powerful, but he is bad at it. He's like Dongzhou. If you know anything about like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the guy that gets stabbed and turned into like oil wax for days on end. He's the Dongzhou of the Dwarven realms, and his focus is 3. The current scene. Yeah, a dragon just landed on top of him. I imagine that would be his focus. But I don't think maybe he's not overly concerned with the dwarf at the moment. I imagine he's running for his life. Ooh, maybe he's on his way. Maybe that's why it's his concern. Oh, I like that, actually. I like that. He's on his way. Might cross paths. Oh, man, sorry, I know I'm expounding lots, but I like the way this is kind of all working out. In the... I love Snarling Badger's games. One problem I have with the Deth Wizards scenarios, the victory conditions are all kind of the same. It's kill everybody within 5 rounds, which always kind of bothered me. Like, assault the city, it makes sense. But steal an ancient artifact, like why is the victory condition not get one of your creatures to grab the artifact and hop it off the board? But what I could do with this one, assault a village, if we don't knock out the village within 5 rounds, maybe the advanced guard of the king are going to rock up, and instead of being petty villagers, they're actually decked out soldiers, and with only 7 points worth of undead, I'm probably not going to be able to survive that. So I need to knock out the villagers within a time limit, or the king's men will arrive on this major road. So they're going to rock up, and I'm probably going to have to hightail it and not get the rewards for that. Cool. I like that. That is cool. I need a name. Of course I need a name. Please. That is a long name. Torim Rom Lim Jade Shaper. Well, I do these things randomly on purpose. Alright. So thanks for that little inset. Now I'm going to go back to where this should be put in the video. Alright, so 2 oaths. Another one, so going to the setting, the village. Cool. They've got natural defenses. Maybe it's on top of a hill, but being the fact that they're on a hill-swept mountaintop, there's not actually a lot to grow, which does suggest maybe they're not growing the food. Maybe these humans here are just defending the keep. They're almost like a stopgap for the dwarves. Didn't help. And an oath to Wunsha Ingatol. Dedicated to a deity and an enmity with a setting of the opposing deity. Oh, okay. I might do that that deity first, actually. Alright, I'll leave this up. Do this to a fate chart thing. Just 50-50. Do the dwarves worship the 7 dwarves of chaos? 96 strong, yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So same deal. 1 to 2, Erebel. 3 is Arlubel, and it's a new one if it's anything else. 6, it's a new one. One of the new dwarves, one of the new gods of chaos. Ooh, the whole story's developing. So to do this one, I'm going to treat it the same way I did the Lichdom games, by using Lichdom instead of one of my PDFs, because one of the 7 gods of chaos. So let's figure out who it is. So this is the Wunsha Ingatol's patron. 5 Baal. 3 Baal An. The Faceless. Baal An the Faceless. A half goat, half bat. Half bat. Lord of Pride and Greed. The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep. Six demands worship and sacrifice, but also can't be near children. That is the third one of these demons that can't be near children. Maybe it's just like a thing with the 7 gods of chaos. They can't affect youth. They need like adults to taint and corrupt. Right. That's just a world building thing. Maybe I should do that. Like for the next 4, all 7 of the remaining gods of chaos can't be near children. Yeah. So that is the 3rd god of chaos, worshipped by the dwarves. I reckon the humans have enmity with. Didn't random that one up, but I like it as a story mechanic. The humans are actually resentful of their position amongst the dwarves. Alright, but for the human deity, because it's not a... Oh, is it? Actually, is it a god of chaos? There's a question. I was going to bring up the usurper god thing, but maybe they worship god of chaos too. So same deal. 50%. No, they don't worship one of the gods of chaos. So they got their own guy. Alright, so how am I going to do this? So I'm going to give him D3 areas of interest, where this god is 1. This god cares about one thing. 24. A god of exploration. I mean, yeah, the tracks. Why they'd travel here and make frozen fingers. Divine attributes. 2 of them. This god is 60. Demanding. Okay. And 24. Demanding and harsh. Okay. Maybe these guys, they view weakness in, like, staticness. They're kind of a nomadic people, this group. Don't know where they came from. Doesn't matter right now. But that's an interesting idea to take home. Religious organizations, how are they ordered? 1. I'm rolling a d6. That makes no sense. How are they organized? 24. They're an informal faith. Alright, makes sense. So they're almost a cult or a group of people devoted to whoever this is that must go out and find new places. They wound up here, either were forced to or agreed to make an oath to Wunsha Ingatol, who worshipped Baal An, Yeah, I think they were forced into this agreement and decided, you know what, it's better to live with your enemy. It'll come up and play, I'm sure. Maybe, who knows? Perhaps not. Two more things. How many requirements does he have? He's got one requirement for his people. 35. To set good examples. Okay. Maybe they're trying to convert the dwarves, make them renounce their evil ways. There's origin. Let's mix these together. 99 and 10. Elemental power. That's irrelevant. So it's just a force of nature. It's like, what do they use in Terry Pratchett?
Anthropomorphic personification. Yes.
But no one cares. So there's a personification of adventure. That's when people go out and try to convert other people. Missionaries. Yeah, they're missionaries. They're missionaries. They're a group of missionaries who rocked up to Frozen Fingers. That makes sense. I like that. They rocked up here and agreed to try. They tried to change Vumsha and Gatol, who viewed them as just these saps that they could use for their own benefit, until the dragon came and wiped them all out. Wow, that worked out. That worked out great. I quite like that. That's an that was an interesting way. We're going to do the second setting as well now, because there were 2 oaths. So same deal. Where do you live? 6 up here. So near the hyphen. This new village is a human or is a dwarf? I'm assuming it's dwarf. Let's give it a roll. Yeah, dwarf. Sorry, that was 1 to 2 humans, 3 to 6 dwarves. So dwarves. A dwarf city up here. I reckon it's underground. There's going to be an underground village in this mountain. Is it a village or is it a town? Let's D10 this sucker. Reroll 9s to 10s. It's a village. Alright. So we have a second village with loyalties to Vumsha and Gatol. There's a feature of 9. So it's built on a major road, which gives it trade. Trade of food. Makes sense. This is where the population issue is coming from. Maybe they're getting fed from under the mountain. They're getting timber and resources and people from up here, and they're getting food from wherever this place is. And its problem, other than the dragon destroying Vumsha, 4. Dedicated to a deity, religious, with their deity to an opposing setting. Yeah, they follow this third god of chaos, which is at enmity to these explorer people. It fits. I like it. I like when things just work out. What is his name? Baal-An, wasn't it? With frozen fingers. I need a name for the place. Name for the place. 212. 9. The place of adjective noun. 32. The field. 1. The field of ancient. The field of ancient skulls. Ah, yeah. The field of ancient skulls, and they grow food. Whatever it is they grow, and they worship that crazy chaos god, and they seem to have a thing for necromancy. I reckon they grow it in like bodies and things maybe. Oh, it's a fungus. It's mushroom trees. They're underground. They grow mushroom trees. And like fungus, like the parasitic funguses that like you turn corpses into growth material. Like that's what they do. I like it. So they grow mushroom trees, use the mushroom trees as food. The food goes to Vumsha Ungatol to solve its food crisis, or it did before the dragon rocked up. That's good. It works. It works. The field of ancient skulls. Alright, and now I just need to whack that through my translator. Fakud Zushtashnikol. There's a town of Fakad Zushtashnikol. A farm for Vumsha Ungatol at enmity with frozen fingers, despite them both having sworn oaths to Vumsha because they worship a different deity that's trying to convert them away from their rightful worship of Baal. There we go. Solid. Done, I think. The only thing left to do is prepare for what the character is doing. So, going back to Deth Wizards and starting the game. Finally, here. Deth Wizards! Here we go. The way I'm going to do this, I want to play sequentially through the campaign, but I want to sprinkle a bit of like player character and development around the world, just to see whether or not it affects things. Whether maybe it will populate the map as the guy roams around. Now the way Mythic Generator works is you set up your scene, and then you against a chaos factor, which goes up and down based upon how in control your character is. And it could be that the scene goes forward as you expect, in this case going through the scenario, or it could be that the scene is altered in some way, or something completely random happens. So we're going to set the chaos factor at 5, which is the default value, to start this guy off. I don't know why he's travelling yet. Pursue advice, abuse beauty, establish happiness. Is he a convert? Maybe he's not such an evil boy. Maybe he's a convert to the god of frozen fingers. Now that the big city's been destroyed, maybe he's going out and trying to break the worship of Baal. That's possible. I think I'll roll off on that one. I'll leave that one to fate. If it's not true, then he's a worshipper of Baal and he's trying to destroy the gods. I think it's just 50-50. Now, the thing with this as well, if you roll doubles when you're asking a fate question, if it's under your chaos factor, something happens odd in the world. Not doubles. 67 though, that's a yes. Grundin. So Grundin's god is the god of frozen fingers. But he's using what he's learnt under the auspices of Baal to try and promote this guy's happier exploratory missionary status. He wants to set good examples by destroying the worship of Baal using his tools. He's a quirky dwarf. Alright. Cool. So that's that. Alright, now, scene. Does the scene progress as expected? If it does, the first thing we're going to do is assault a village. Scene does progress as expected. Okay, so what we're going to do, first off the bat, nothing has changed. We're going to play through the scenario as it is intended in the next video, which gives me time to prepare all of the, prepare the map, prepare everything. And once we're done with that attack, we'll engage with a bit of mythic RPGing and see whether or not the scene after that would be conducting a ritual, or if something else happens. Yeah. Exciting. Oh yeah, all the things like and subscribe, rah, etc, etc. Bye bye. Quality watching, quality television. Me struggling with technology. As someone who works in technology.